Good morning, everybody. Give me a couple minutes. I'm going to share that we are live, and then I'll be right with you guys. All right. So, good morning, everybody. Gonna take a look at the pre-market here and see what is going on. You can see the market is up pre-market. Again, all about support and resistance. Needs to get above that 27 kind of 94 area. That kind of shooting star candle. It needs to then get above that 2808. So we shall see what happens this morning. So let's take a look at some of these ones from our watch list and see what's going on. APRI has a bunch of volume right now. What we were looking at to see was to see if this gap fills right around that 59 cents right here. So it's got a lot of volume. It's popped up pre-market. Don't really like the pattern right now, but this is one to see if that gap goes and fills at around 59.60 cents. Then there's another gap over here, this one between 131 to 280-ish. So we'll keep an eye on that one here and see if it will continue and go up. That's APRI. And let's do this. Let's draw the trend line on this. And you can see there is a trend line right there, right? So here's your trend line. See if the buyers will basically come back in, keep it up right over here. You can see the trend line right on the 5-minute. And again, see if it can go fill at 60 cents and continue upwards. Next up, let's take a look at HMMR. So this one's not really doing anything right now in the pre-market. Wanted to see if it was going to reverse. You can see some volume coming in here on the daily yesterday. Want to see if it can get above that 150-ish area and that 176-ish area and see if they'll get some volume. Right now it's not doing much of anything, so we'll just keep it to the side for now. All right, so let's take a look at BLCM. Here's another one right here. You had this kind of this ascending triangle right here and needs to get over that, pretty much that $10 marker. So whereas I'm going to remove this. $10, huge psychological resistance area. Again, it's overextended. So you have this ascending triangle with the tops being extended higher. See if it'll get some volume and break over 10. Not doing much of anything right now. Just a little bit popped up, but you know, again, keep an eye on it. See if it'll get over 10 and get some continuation. Again, these small cap ones are just ones, we're just looking for volatility, right? We're looking to scalp 10, 15, 20 cents. If you can get more, great. This is more of a higher price one near $10. So again, that $10 huge psychological support and psychological resistance area at this point. LGCY, here's one again. We had that line right at $7. It's right at $7 this morning. No volume, but You know, see if it'll go and break above 7. If so, it has some room up to potentially $8 or so. So you can see both LGCY and BLCM are right at those critical whole dollar amounts, $7, $10. So you got to see if it'll break above 7 and if BLCM will get above 10. ACET, here is one that's in the gap right now. Here's a gap on the daily. There's definitely some room to run if this will push up. You can see kind of an ascending triangle being formed here. Again, no coincidence, right near that $4 level. No volume right now. That's okay. Watch for it if it'll break over 4 and continue upwards. So I like the pattern on ACET. All right, BSTI. Here's one again we had at 1325 as the yearly high. It's right a little bit below that right now. So this is kind of a cup and handle-ish pattern. You want to see it break above 1325 if it's going to continue. So it went up to kind of 1315 and is kind of pulling back right now. So not looking so hot right now at the moment. BSTI. And APTO. So pre-market highs at 445 right now. Let's see, where is that? Right around here. And you can see that's in this gap, 445 up to 528. So you can see that this is currently in the gap. We want to see it go and continue upwards. So we're going to, again, it's okay. You know, there's only 15,000 volume. Again, what I've been showing you guys, actually, I'll get to this point in a second. I'm going to put APTO onto the side. So let's look at this. Let's pull up a 5-minute on APTO. And you have a trend line that you could draw kind of like that on the 5-minute. So let's, in last one, we'll look at JKS. JKS, we were looking for a potential reversal if it can get above that 1261-ish area. It is kind of above it right now. See if it'll continue upwards. And let's see here with JKS. Let's go to a 5-minute. And don't really like the trend line now. So you want to see it break out of kind of that cup and handle-ish and continue upwards. So let me put that to the side. Let me move. Let's see. BSTI and JKS. Okay. So if you notice, guys, we've been talking about this past few days. You'll see I've been trying to show you guys a little bit differently lately. I'm trying to take you guys away from the herd, the mob mentality. Again, if you are a quick trader, you like to get in and out, get in on these high, quickly moving, low float stocks. Again, simply a few different things here. Over on our website, you'll see our day trade room over here. If you click on it in here, people are all chatting here all day long about, you know, basically trade ideas. Again, trade ideas is our favorite scanner. It picks up all the low floaters and the runners. So people are all chatting here all morning long about pretty much any stocks with day trading. And then we also have a swing trading and futures room. But we also right here share our trade ideas link right here. So trade ideas, the $120 a month scanner. So we suggest try it before you buy it. You know, we suggest, again, have your own copy, but don't buy it if you can't afford it. Use ours until you can. And it picks up all the low float movers. Now, what I'm teaching you guys, I'm still going to pull those up, but what I'm trying to do for you guys is slow trading down, right? Slow it down, show you guys the patterns, and you're going to get, again, sick of hearing me say patterns over and over and over again. But trading is patterns. Whether you're trading a quick low float pump and dump stock or a slow grinder, you're looking for patterns. Now, many times these stocks hit trade ideas and they're already skyrocketed pre-market and it breaks the whole daily pattern already, right? And now you're trying to go get that whole piece of what everybody on the planet's looking at. So again, you got to determine your strategy. I am not a low floater pump and dump stock kind of guy. That's not my strategy. Dan is really, he loves doing that. David loves doing that. And again, people in our trade room, many of them love doing that. When I'm teaching you guys, when I pull those up, I'll start pulling them up. I'm going to look at the ones on our trade alerts. Again, as I've been showing you guys lately, not even lately, if you look at our trade alerts results on our website and you go over to any of our trade alerts results, I'll just pick a random one from, you know, whatever, a few weeks back, you'll see, let's just pull up randomly, March 30th, week ending March 30th. Here's our daily watch list, right? You can see 29 cents, 13, 12, 49, $1.93. Always at least a 10-cent mover, right? So what are you looking to scalp when you're day trading? 10, 15, 20 cents, right? So these on our watch list are much slower. So we use our watch list in conjunction with trade ideas. So what will happen is if something's not moving at the time on our watch list, then I'll pull something up on trade ideas. I'll show you guys a 5-minute chart. We'll slow it down, and if the pattern forms, we'll look for a possible entry. But we're not going to rush, right? I'm trying to teach you guys, don't rush and don't let your emotions take over when trading, right? You can see here, the results don't lie. Right here, that's on Monday. On Tuesday, 30 cents, 25, 33, 3, right? So out of these 30 cents, you may have been able to pick off 10 or 12 cents. That's okay, right? You're not going to capture the whole move. Wednesday, you'll see 24, 52, 9, 10, 38, 46, 10. There's several, 10-cent movers here. Right over here, 15, $1.30, 37, 32, 14, 20, 6. You're able to make at least 10 cents on these without getting caught in the mob, right? Are you going to make, 50 cents or $1 every move? No. But that is okay. So again, what I'm trying to do for you guys is slow day trading down, teach you guys patterns, because if you learn these patterns, it translates to all time frames, right? You're looking for patterns on daily, monthly, weekly, and then intraday charts, right? They all are the same. I've been teaching you guys and telling you guys, my natural trading style is a swing trader. I'm not naturally a day trader, but I can sit here every morning and show you guys day trading and teach you it and show you support and resistance, because what is it? It's support and resistance. I can show you how to trade a pump and dump stock or a parabolic mover, even though that's not my natural trading style, because it's all support and resistance, right? So that's what I'm trying to teach you guys and show you guys, is that everything is patterns. And if you learn these patterns, then you're able to trade in probabilities. Again, because you can never predict what the stock market's going to do, but these patterns become, you can trade in probables once you're able to learn these support and resistance levels. So again, I'm gonna do a split chart here, put it to a couple 5-minute ones, see what we're going to look at. Which one am I gonna look at right now? I'm looking at, I like the way ACET looks for a potential ascending triangle breakout over $4. What else do I like? Possibly, what is that? ACET. Again, no volume. That's okay, right? That's okay. You got to see right here, APTO, I think is the other one I'm going to look at. APTO. And if some of these don't move after 10, 15 minutes or so, then we'll pull up something on trade ideas and we'll look at the charts there. So at this point with ACET, we want to see if $4 can break and hold, get some volume, and continue up. That $4 you can see on this kind of this ascending triangle. APTO, not doing much at the moment. So you'll start to see when the market opens, we just put our watch list. We have our watch list over here, and this is common. You'll get a few that are up right at the market open and some that are down. Then we're going to see these alerts. You can see all of them except for one triggered. Does that mean you should trade them? Absolutely not. Now when you see almost all of our trade alerts went off, that means key areas were broken. Now we have to go and kind of look over here, see what's moving, look at the charts and see, okay, ACET may be one. That's one to keep an eye on, see if it can get volume and get over that 401 marker. And you will see again with that one, it is in a gap, has definitely room to run. It's breaking above that 50 SMA. So now at this point, if it breaks $4, you want to see, there it goes, $4 hold, right? So at this point, you could either switch to a 1 minute chart or let that 5 minute candlestick hold. You can see it just went right down here and boom, it went out. So at this point, if 402, you want to see 401 area hold if there's a retest. So now you got to watch, is it going to bull flag up right now? Is it going to bull flag and continue above that 1414? Or is it going to fail that 401 retest? So newbies, we are very cautious in telling you guys, you want to be very careful getting in on a longer candlestick, right? You want to wait for pullbacks, buy at support levels, and continue up, right? So right here, you can see that 414 down to $4, about a 14-cent candle. Not the greatest risk management right off the bat. So you want to watch here, is there going to be a little bit of a pullback for a bull flag and a continuation over 414, or is it going to fail? Remember, price right now is in the gap, and gaps are volatile. So it might be slowing down here for a bull flag. Got to watch and see. Is it going to pull back, hold, and break out, or is it going to fail? And right now, APTO is not doing much of anything right now, not looking so hot. But got to see here. It's kind of riding this. Is it going to, the buyer is going to come in down here by the lower trend line, or is it going to go and break out? Right here, so far, it's looking like it may be forming a bull flag. Got to see if it holds here. These are the patterns you're looking for. You're looking for these bull flags or those ascending triangles to get in on, right? So if you see a flag near like a VWAP or right near a 9 EMA, that's where you're gonna, right here, you're gonna see if this holds, that's showing you a potential entry. If it fails, then it's just gonna fail, right? Remember, we're only 4 minutes into the open. At this point, high of day is 414. So ideally you want to see, if you're bullish on this, price get above 414 and see if this is going to be a bull flag where price can kind of get over that 410-ish area and continue upwards. And there we go, real quick. So now right there, this may be your entry above 410 if you took this trade, with a stop below that candlestick or a close below the 9 as your stop if you take an entry right here. Again, we don't call out trades. We're just showing you guys support and resistance and what to look like. But this would be, again, a bull flag, broke above. Now you got to see, at this point, you want to see that 413 area hold. So this is a bull flag. Goes up, pulls back. If you took a trade, you get in above that 1 minute candle with a stop below that, this small candle as your stop, or you can use the 9 as your guide. And at this point, now you want to see it continue up. Let's now go, I don't know if the 5 minute candle's closed yet. There you go. Right here. So on this trade right here, you have already been up 410 to 423. You're already up 13 cents, right? 14 cents. Bull flag takes off. Remember, it's overextended on the 1 minute, could easily pull back. This is where you decide, hey, do you take profits or do you wait for a candle close below this 413 as your stop? But again, 410 or 411 up to 424, you're already up 13 cents. Many times when these stocks break out, they come back and retest. There's no guarantee the stock's going to go up and fill the gap. There's no guarantee the stock's going to go up forever. What goes up will eventually come down. That's why you have to watch these patterns. So now we want to see here, is price going to go and form another bull flag and continue? Or is it going to fail that 424? So right now you can see 413 area as support, 424 is resistance. We can just remove some of these other support levels at this point because they really don't matter at this point, right? And let's see if there's other ones. So APTO, not looking so hot right now. Now, APRI might be one to keep an eye on. Remember, APRI has that gap on the daily that it might be looking to fill right around that 58, 59 cents. This is a 5-minute long-legged doji. Not looking so hot. These are very difficult to trade. At this point, you want to see it get above that 53 cents and continue. So ACET, again, bull flag, one up, has a new high at 424. Now it's possibly, again, got to watch these patterns, forming a new bull flag. You want to see, again, 414 area hold, and ideally get a flag, pull right here, and continue up over that 424. Remember, you're in this gap currently, this big daily gap, which creates lots of volatility. That's why learning these patterns are super, super important. You can see the first 5-minute candlestick, nice one right up here. Right now they're showing some indecision as the second candlestick forms, and that's why we can zoom in right here on the 1 minute and see, is this going to be a flag that's going to hold? Again, proper risk management. If you were to take a trade in here and you didn't get in back here, you would use this area right here, that 413, as a stop. Right now, it's showing some weakness. But these are the things I like to show you guys, is near these areas, you're looking at again, if a trade goes against you, 6 or 7 cents as a stop rather than a parabolic mover that could be, you know, you can get halted on the way down as your stop, right? Because they move so quickly. You'll see ACAT, low volume, not a ton of volume right now, right? Doesn't mean you can't trade these. You can get in and out with 1,000 shares or so, moves up and down, but you could have made right over here on this 1 minute play, 410 to 424, 14 cents on a stock that probably not many people are really paying attention to right now, right? APRI, right now, it's going up near that gap. See if it fills. It's a bit overextended at this point. I'd watch for a pullback. And let's see. Right here. So now it's showing some weakness here. Now it's not looking so hot. At this point, that 413 needs to hold. It's showing weakness. LGCY. So I'm going to pull up LGCY over here. Again, at this point, you want to see that 59 cents go up, break, and hold, right, and fill that gap. It is a bit overextended, so watch if it's going to go up and fill that gap and continue above. I would actually just say 60 cents. Or watch if there's a bull flag pullback here on the 5-minute for a flag potential continuation or movement up. BS, let's switch one. So again, if you're looking at ACET, there's cause for concern right now. These red candlesticks right above that 413 area, which if you look at the 5-minute chart, there you go. Guys, this is why on the 1 minute it's not looking so hot. This one green candle up, this almost a gravestone doji candlestick showing a potential reversal right here, showing weakness. That's why it's important to have a 5-minute chart pattern set up over here so you can see what's going on. This 5-minute candlestick is affecting right over here. So this ain't looking so hot. At this point, if this is going to recover, it needs a couple green candlesticks to close above here for a bull flag up, but it's not looking so good now. So there you go. So that at this point right now, this was, remember I was saying right in the pre-market, you're looking for 10, 15, 20 cents. You had one play right over here. Right over here, 410 up to 424. You had your 14 cents. Pull back here, showed some indecision right over here. So even if you waited to over in this candlestick, you still would have made 9 or 10 cents, right? Not great, but it's still 10 cents on a slower mover. It gave you some warning signs here. It didn't pump and then right dump. You had, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 right over here to basically say warning, warning, warning. So you had 5 minutes on 1-minute candlesticks to, potentially say, okay, I got greedy. It went against me. And even if you did, you still would have made 2 or 3 cents profit. So this is what I'm trying to show you guys that, yeah, you might not get the quick 50 or 60 cent move in 30 seconds, but you're also not going to get destroyed on the way down. You get warning signs, right? So right now, ACET is not looking so hot. I'm going to keep, actually, let me see on this one here. Yeah, so I don't like this. This is like an evening star pattern right now. So at this point, I don't like that pattern. I want to walk away from that one. This one in APRI, still somewhat in play right now. I want to see if this bull flags in a 5-minute and continues up or if it's going to fail. Right now, it may be setting up for a bull flag. We're going to keep that to the side. This is a reversal to the downside. This evening star, I don't like that pattern. LGCY may be forming. So you can see $7 is an important resistance area. And at this point, not much volume. Again, remember, the herd and the mob, where are they right now? They're all staring at trade ideas, right? Again, trade ideas is awesome. They're all distracted over there. Everybody's trying to get their 10, 15, 20 cent move. Over here, nobody's looking at our watch list right now until there ends up being breakouts if they get the volume. And then what will happen is you might be able to scalp if this thing goes up. You might be able to get your 10, 15, 20 cents when nobody's looking. Then it breaks out, gets the volume, and then it hits trade ideas, right? That makes sense, the mentality of that, guys? But look at how slow these kind of move. They're a slower grind. We're 15 minutes in. We already see a trade that you could have made 14 cents on. That's a good move. That's a standard daily move. You're not going to get 50 cents or $1 every single day. Not going to happen. You could have made your 14 cents, got out, got some good positive endorphins, and now look at another potential trade. APRI, not looking so hot right now. This one right here, LGCY, possibly one to look at. You can see it's forming almost like an ascending triangle right over in here. We can now zoom in to the 1 minute and you can see, okay, right here. The low of this candlestick, 684. The high is 694. So this is what I want to teach you guys. You have a 10-cent risk management right here. That's really good. It's not moving great. It's forming a potential pattern here. It may fail, right? We got to watch an ascending kind of triangle. I'm going to zoom into a 1 minute. Right here, it may be breaking above that 694 to break 7. But if this goes and reverses against you, look at your risk management down. It's less than 10 cents, right? That's where you need to be able to learn these patterns and your proper risk management. So then if you want to trade those low floaters, those quick movers, you're able to do it more effectively. So now we'll zoom in here to the 1 minute and now look at the 1 minute. That's an ascending triangle, right? You have a flat top ascending triangle right over here. And now at this point, you want to see it break above 694. If it breaks above 694, you want to see it absolutely break 7, psychological resistance area, whole and $half amounts. But then you could use your stop, somewhere even down in here, right? Right below the middle of this ascending triangle. So 687 to 694, That's a 7-cent stop if this goes against you. Proper risk management. I wouldn't necessarily risk all this down here. You might use the 9 EMA a little bit more, right? But you can see here's a pattern, right? Ascending triangle. Earlier, we saw that bull flag. So what are we looking for? These bull flags and ascending triangles if you are going to be bullish. And as I'm talking to you guys, some of my other ones are maybe lifting off right now. BSTI is lifting off. So this is what happens too. You can look away. You could be distracted, right? And then other ones will take off. That's okay. Sometimes you'll miss them. It happens all the time. So right here, again, higher lows are being formed. You can kind of just go like this right here. And there's your trend line, right? You have a trend line. You have a flat top. It's slowly moving, slowly building volume. Proper risk management. Needs to get above 7. No guarantees it will. But at least you can have proper risk management if it goes against you. BSTI over here. I'm going to move LGCY over here. This one maybe, I'm not really liking it so hot right now. I want to see, it may be bull flagging right here. So we want to see it hold. Get a nice green candle above here on the 9. See it potentially move up, but I'm not really liking it so hot right now. We'll put LGCY over here. LGCY. There we go. So now it's moving up. So right here, struggling around that 694, 95 area. You want to see it continue. Again, on a 5-minute, it gets choppy, right? You have these ascending triangles. They get messy within ascending triangles. But that's why you have to look at the pattern on the 5-minute and say, okay, if this goes against me, you know, maybe leave down in here. Again, a stops anywhere right in this area, 680 to 690. Have a tight stop if it goes against you. BSTI was the one I wanted to show you guys here. So this one took off. This one on BSTI had at or above 12.85. It's already gone to 13.50. So this one's already moved 65 cents. So what did it do? It broke above that pre-market high. What is that? 13.23 on the daily. Right here, the yearly high, that 13.23. You guys see it broke above yearly high. And at this point, you don't want to chase. It's overextended. Right now, you want to see it pull back. And right here, LGCY broaching $7. At this point right now, I would personally, if I was in this trade or taking it, I would use a close below the top of this ascending triangle as my stop. So if I was to risk a break of 7 for it to continue, I would use a close right above here as my stop, just because that's an important support level. All right, so tight risk management. Will this break 7 and continue up? None of us know, right? But that's why you have proper risk levels. Adjust your stops along the way, right? So maybe I wouldn't, again, me personally, that's what I would probably use, but some people might still keep a stop down here. Again, just be aware of the patterns of this pattern. So here was a 60-something cent move. I was looking over here. This moved quickly. You would have looked over here. I didn't like this candlestick. This one right here, maybe a candle right above here. Ideally, you'd want it to get above that pre-market high of 316. Right over in here. And then you could see that yearly high was at 1323. And now it's kind of lifting off. At this point, it's just, I wouldn't chase this right now. Even though it's moving up, you can beat yourself up and be like, oh, we were looking at one earlier. It went up 14 cents. I only made 14, but I could have made 60, right? That's something that'll go in your head all the time, right? I could have made more. I could have made 60 on this trade, but I only made 14. Who cares? That happens all the time. Don't beat yourself up. At this point, if you're going to take a trade, right now it's kind of got that diagonal flag pattern. Those are a bit tricky, right? You like to, those get a little bit overextended right out here. Those are more difficult to trade. Right here on LGCY, you have a close above, right above that 695. Looks good, but now it's between that 695 and 7. And at this point, that 695 needs to hold. It's retesting here now. You can zoom into the 1 minute over here and see what's happening over there. And right now, you know, it needs to hold that 9 EMA. Watch if there's a bull flag and continues, or if it's going to fail. Again, support right over in here at that 694. Needs to get above 7. I'm going to wait for this one. I have this pulled up on another screen for BSTI. Watch for this to pull back, see if it forms. This might be forming a reversal pattern right now. It's showing some weakness. HMMR, I had another screen. This one's just slowly grinding, not a lot of volume. Let's take a look at the daily again. Daily, it's just slowly grinding, not doing much. So, you know, in a stock like something like this, if you were to take a trade, you know, if you risk it, you know, sometimes, again, not much volume on it, slowly grinding, kind of an ascending triangle, but even when it breaks above, it's not doing much. This is something, again, one of those ones that might not go up and go crazy. It might slowly grind up, or it might trade sideways or dump. But even so, on something like this, you can see it's a higher float stock. It's a slower grinder. You can manage your risk more. If it goes against you, use that 9 EMA as a stop and have a couple cent stop if you take a risk, right? So I'm not saying to trade this by any means, but, you know, sometimes you'll see this breakout and then it just won't get the volume and it doesn't do much and it just kind of stays stagnant. So again, you might not get the huge reward and have it go parabolic in 40 or 50 cents, but this may grind 5 or 10 cents up, right? That's another way for you to make your 10-cent move. Remember, day trading is not about making 50 and 60 cent trades every day. That's not going to happen every day. You're not going to have the cojones to be able to stay in a trade for 50 and 60 cents all the time when you're up 30 or 25 or 32 cents. You're going to take your profits unless you have the perfect setup. And the perfect setups don't happen all of the time. Awesome, Raf. Raf said, just joined. Really like the way you guys teach here. Love it. Love to hear. Again, if some of you guys are listening to me right now and you don't like the way I'm teaching, because I'm sure that happens, right? Some people like me, some people don't, and that's fine. Good news is we have our trade rooms. We have our day trade room, swing trade room, futures room. People are talking in here right now, so you can go and chat with them. All right, so HMMR, let me put this pattern right up over here again on LGCY. So again, kind of just floating around. So now here's what we're going to do. We're about 25 minutes into the market. We saw that one that moved, which one we were looking at, ACET. You can see this one's still in play, LGCY. It's bouncing around. It's slow grinding, right? Slowly grinding. Not doing much right now, but ACET. We saw a perfect setup right here on the 1 minute. So again, 5 minute, you're waiting for the 5 minute pattern. It just reversed, right? But the 1 minute, we saw a really good bull flag right here that you could have scalped for 14 cents. David, you watching? If you're listening right now, buddy, David loves the 1 minute parabolic movers. So here we've been talking a lot about this, right? So David, if you're listening, here was one that you could have perfectly gotten a 14-cent scalp right here at the break of this 1 minute candle, up for 14 cents. If you didn't take profit here and then it came back here, you could have got tricked out by the bull flag. But this is what I've been talking, David and I have been talking a lot, right? This is the risk reward concept that we talk about with those parabolic movers, right? He got trapped in one the other day that went against him. He got out within 15 seconds, or he took a loss because it just went up and down so quickly, right? So what will happen is I would, again, using my strategy here, very lower reward, 14 cents. But look, if you didn't take profits here, you had 4 to 5 minutes. And even when it started going, even if you just started panicking or didn't do anything and you went all the way over to here and started closing out over in here after 4 or 5 minutes, you still would have at least broken even, maybe made a penny. So this is where lower reward, right? 14 cents, where instead of on a trade ideas at the open, this may have been 50 or 60 cents. Remember, as a herd mentality, if you're new, I'm speaking to the newbies here. Again, the professional traders are not watching me right now unless they're spying, right? Professional traders don't care what I'm saying on here. They know what they're doing, right? So it's most of the people that we're trying to reach the audience of people that want to learn how to trade, right? So unless you're spying on me, wondering what I'm doing, you're a newbie here or somebody that wants to learn trading. So if you want to learn trading, you need to learn patterns and charts. And, this is where, again, on these slower movers right here, you can go get your scalp. If it goes against you, manage your risk, and you have time to make your decisions. So that's what we're trying to teach you guys. We're not saying don't trade the parabolic quick movers. Dan, David, those guys, they love that style, and they're talking about that in our trade room all the time. But I'm trying to teach you guys, again, if you can see these patterns, then you can translate them and move them over to the parabolic movers, because you're looking for the same type of pattern on a parabolic mover as you are this slower mover. Awesome, David. So I am going to take a quick water cooler break, right? So if we're at work right now, you want to say, hey, I'm thirsty. I'm going to go to the water cooler, get a drink. So I'm going to be back in a moment. Let's put this on a 5-minute. Still a mess. Let's see if I can see a better pattern for you guys. HMMR, I don't like that. See that? It's just kind of going against now. So this is what I was showing you guys. Slower, goes against. So you could be like, ah, man, I got in at the break of this thing. It didn't get the volume. Now it's seesawing. At this point, I'm just going to just take my loss, right? So you could have saw this pattern, this flat top, got in at the break. It went up a penny, did nothing, failed. It went against you. But so here's the thing, right? You look at that, didn't catch the volume, didn't continue upwards. So at this point, you may stay in it, right? Because see, it's bouncing. Or you can say, I'm 15 minutes later. This is too slow for me. And I'm going to take my penny loss, right? And there you go. Look over here at LGCY. Now it's breaking above $7. $7, now it's resistance. So now you had a break from $6.95. It's up to $7.04. It's moved 9 cents now. Slow grinder on LGCY. It's a higher float stock. And so now let's just go to the 1 minute right over here. And now let's just remove and adjust the trend line, and we'll do it over here. Maybe like that right here. So $7, important support level. Remember over here on the daily, well, this has room to run. LGCY has room. So now at this point, it's getting above $7. It's gaining some volume now, 177,000. Not a ton, but it's flying under the radar. And at this point, $7.01 or $7, very important area to hold. So if you're new, you got to be careful here. You want to wait for more of a pullback. And then we can drill down to the 1 minute and see we have our trend line. It broke out. So now at this point, keep an eye on it. See if this 701 will hold and continue upwards, and watch the patterns. Someone says Lucian Sore Fingers says Lucian is GLNNF a pennant. Let's go take a look. So when I come back, we're going to look at some of these ones from the morning scan. What's going on? On the 5 minute, it's not a pattern, but let's now zoom in on a 1 minute. Not really. I'm not sure when you asked that, but I can see if it was holding right here. You know, if it stayed up in this area, possibly, but right now it's breaking down. If that's what you're looking for, good eye, I can see what you're potentially looking at, but it just, whatever it is, it's failing right now. Not looking so hot. So I'm going to take my quick water cooler break. I will be back with you guys in a moment. All right, everybody, I'm back. My 5-minute break is over. I need Dan to get me a time clock or something so I could punch back in when I've come back. So I'm back, and let's take a look. LGCY is not doing anything right now. Did this stop or move? Is my Thinkorswim frozen right now? Let me see here. Let's see if I'm frozen. 9:59. Looks like my I wonder if my Thinkorswim is frozen right now. That would not be good. Let me pull up another one. APRI. This ain't good. Hold on, guys. I don't know what's going on with my Thinkorswim. It looks like my charts are frozen. Dan, my IT guy. Good news, guys, if it is. I'm getting a new computer any day now. What the bleep? Oh. Read the chat, Lucian. What is it? Everybody's saying. Lucian, you need a hamster bot. Froze. Stuck. I guess I'm frozen. We love Thinkorswim, and occasionally they have issues like this. So let's go do this. Let's see if I can log back in. So in the meantime, some of you guys are going to look at that desktop background screen and be like, I love that desktop background screen. How do I get that desktop background screen? First of all, it's not our desktop background screen. Just go to Google, type in candlestick patterns, and you'll see a whole bunch of them. Now, good news is ours someday are going to be done. Dan was asking me last night, hey, when are our candlestick desktop backgrounds going to be done? I say, good question. I talked to my buddy who's the artist. He does great work. Sometimes I'm not the best at making him getting it done at the exact time that's needed. So they're coming. What the bleep? Is Thinkorswim still frozen? Son of a gun. Some reason I don't think Thinkorswim's moving. It looks like it's just dead right now. Yeah, Thinkorswim's just kind of in working, so let me out. All right. We can sing a song. Should we play some music? This happens, guys, right? Gotta adjust. So, perfect example. These are the days that you're going to be like, son of a gun, I can't trade. Oh my gosh, the world is ending. What do I do? Blah, 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 blah. Walk away, go read a book, go to the bathroom, go take a nap, go talk to your coworker, and then hide from your boss so you don't get in trouble. That was a game I used to play all the time, right? Used to corporate America and sales, complete and total torture for 20 years. And I'd be always the guy that gets in trouble because, like, the only way I could function was going and talking to my coworkers. Yeah, so Thien says restarted and still frozen. Yep, so it's still frozen. What are you going to do? I could stare at my computer. I could bang it. I can shake it. I can restart it. I could do all those things. Maybe I will. Oh, no, I'm not going to restart it because I think it's a Thinkorswim problem. It's all right. Used to be with my coworkers. I'd be the guy that we'd have these call blitz, right? For anybody in sales knows this, right? Corporate America sales is like, used to call it adult daycare, right? Just like never saw so many grown adults, right? They would wake up every morning, right? And then they would go and they drop their kids off, right? Bring your kids to school, drop them off at the bus station, drive them to work, right? So you drop your kids off, right? And then it was time for those adults to go into adult daycare. And adult daycare means then you'd go to corporate America, and then they would treat you like a child. So it's like they're dropping their little children off at school, and then you're treated like an adult child. And so basically it would be like every single day you're talked to like, do you know this or do you know that? And do you do it this way or that way? And I would see many, many people twice my age treated like their children. So my whole point being in all that is, I don't know why I just said that. I was just having flashbacks to corporate America sales and why I went off in the adult daycare thing just makes me laugh, right? So with me talking to my coworkers, so I'd always get in trouble because I'd be distracted and I'd have to get through the pain of it and the misery every day. So I'd have to go talk to my coworkers, and then you got to commiserate, right? Have people that you can relate to talking about the same thing to to make it through the pain. So we're looking, and Thinkorswim's still down. All right, so what am I gonna do? Nothing. It's down. So I'm looking at the trade room, guys. People I think are still saying that Thinkorswim's down. So we'll just put it down. We'll pull up over here. If you haven't been over to our trade room, again, guys, you can go over to a day trade room, swing trade room, futures room over here. I would pull up, by the way, I could pull up Interactive Brokers right now and show you guys, but I'm sorry, I hate their charts. I just hate their charts. They're painful. So I have Interactive Brokers to pull up. I just can't stand their charts. So I don't want to put myself through that pain of the torture of pulling them up. But we do love Interactive Brokers as a broker. They are really good to trade with. Their charting sucks. Good news is someday keep helping us grow as a community. Keep referring your friends, all that good stuff, because someday Dan and I they live Interactive Brokers corporate office is only, I think, a couple hours away from us. So yeah, so we'll get an appointment someday and say, hey, get your act together, make your charts a little bit better, and then people won't have to use another platform for charts. And then we want to have the same meeting with Thinkorswim and say, hey, Thinkorswim, you guys have the best charting platform. Get shorting availability, get editable hotkeys, and then people wouldn't leave you, all right? But this stuff happens all the time in trading, guys. You're going to get a setback, and it happens. So that being said, for any newbies following us, we have our day trade room, swing trade room, futures room. So while Thinkorswim's frozen, there are people still talking in our trade rooms, right? So here's our day trade room, futures room. See, go spy and see who's talking in there. People talking over here in the swing room, or the not the frozen room, the futures room. All right, so give it a few more minutes, guys. Again, take our courses. If you're bored, you can't trade, all these right here, all these courses for you. So I'm going to pause it. Maybe give Daniel, I will be giving you a call. Stay by your phone. Touch base with you and see what's going on. It's probably just a Thinkorswim issue. So we'll be back in a little bit, guys, or we won't. I may be back to say, hey, we're done for the day, or I might be back and say, hey, we can look at things some more. I'll be back. All right, I am back. Yes, back up, someone says. So let's see if Thinkorswim is back up. There we go. Oh, there's so many teaching lessons for you guys here on this. So, for those who've been watching, Thinkorswim were frozen, right? Oh my gosh, Thinkorswim's frozen. What do I do? This ruins my day. Yada, yada, yada. So first of all, if you weren't in a trade, then count that as good news and count that as a fact of that happens, right? So good news is be thankful if you weren't in a trade. That's tremendous news. Now, if you were in a trade, panic sets in. What do I do? Oh my gosh, the world's falling. This is a perfect example of where you would, number one, make sure that you have a cell phone and an app up so that if you are in a trade, you could potentially, or you could use your cell phone to get out of the trade. So hopefully if your Wi-Fi is down so number one, if Thinkorswim's down, you know, that might not be a Wi-Fi thing. So maybe you can get out still if you have Wi-Fi at home. But if for whatever reason your Wi-Fi is down, usually your cell phone signal, again, will enable you to run your app where you're then able to get out of your trade, right? So this is a perfect lesson that if you're in a trade in your brokerage, now, again, that's the other thing too, you may not on the app be able to get out of the trade. That's a possibility as well. So, you know, if their whole platform could be down. So it might just, that's when you're going to see, okay, is it just my browser or can I get out of it on my app? If you can't get out of it on your app and you're stuck in the trade, then you're going to have to accept the reality of this is the risks that happen when you trade, right? If your brokerage account is just can't allow you in and out of that trade, these are the risks that happen when you trade. That's why proper risk management's key, and there could be a trade you get in and you get screwed. Then you call your broker and see if there's something they will do. Chances are they might not be, but BitLow asks, Lucian, is there any possible that you can teach us swing trading by the end of the trading day? I know it is too much for you. I don't know. Is that a serious question or are you being funny? Like, I will answer it seriously. I can't teach you swing trading by the end of the day. That would be impossible because you have to learn swing trading. And the good news is we have a swing trading course right here, right on our website that you can take for free. So I can't teach it to you by the end of the day, but I can point you to a reference that you can take our free course here that you might be able to learn a lot of it towards the end of the week if you study for a couple hours every single day and watch these videos. So, yeah. So this is a perfect example, guys, of you could get, you know, your trading, your brokerage account goes down. Make sure you have your app to be able to log in with that broker. If your app is down, then you're kind of screwed, right? All the calling in the world, I'm sure if yours is down, everybody's calling them. Chances are you might as well, your probably best use would be have both your phone and your computer up, wait for it to come back live, and then have a proper exit strategy. Look at your support and resistance and see what you're going to do when you can come back from that trade. And sometimes if you lose, you will have to take a loss. Call your broker on the off hours and ask if there's anything they will do. And if there isn't, then that is your one of your major risks when trading. You have to accept the risk. Technology does fail. But if it's your internet at home, sometimes it might not be Thinkorswim. It might be your internet at home, right? It might be your Wi-Fi. Or, you know, if your Wi-Fi stops working, then you have your cell phone up. You can go on to LTE or 3G or whatever and potentially get out of your trade. So let's do this. I'm just looking at some comments in the trade room, seeing what's going on. So now it looks like people are back up for think or swim. So let's kind of go through some things and see what's happened in the past hour, a half hour or so. We'll recap some things and some patterns and see what is happening today. So APRI, let's go over here. I'm going to change back up to my regular chart. APRI over here. And APRI went in and it just filled the gap and it dumped. Right? That's why gap levels, you can see this gap over here. Right here, I said watch for that gap to fill. And then when that gap fills, you want to see it continue, right? So right here, it went up, it filled the gap, now it's dumped. So on this one right here, APRI, you really didn't have a trade, right? Didn't have a trade, but if you risked, right? Let's say you got, let's say you took a trade, right? Let's say you got in at the break of this 5-minute candle at 53. You got anxious for it to fill. Let's say you didn't take your 5-cent profit. And then you saw this candle close here, right? At this point, when you see this happening, you should get out, right? So worst case scenario in this cent right here, you 53 cents to 52. So worst case scenario, if you took this trade, you didn't take the 5-cent profit. It went against you. You see this big red candlestick come down, you should get out. If you didn't get out, you had another chance over here. So you had another 5 minutes to make a decision to get out and still take a minor loss. If you didn't, you would have then had another one. So you had 10 full minutes to get out, right? If you still didn't get out here, then over here, you should have surely gotten out. And, 53 cents down to 40, let's say 8 cents, you still only lost 5 cents. So that's saying you were foolish on the trade and you weren't really looking at support and resistance. You still only lost 5 cents. So it's still not bad. That's why, again, we show you guys these ones on the watch list. They give you, again, sometimes they will pump and dump, but you're more likely to get time to make a trade in a decision. Whereas, we're going to look at some of these with trade idea or the higher gappers in the morning in a moment. You're going to see, look at my watch list right here. 19 cents, 6 cents, 5 cents, 2 cents. A lot lower than 65, 27, 23, 22, 20, 17, all of that good stuff. Why is that? Because everybody on the planet was looking over here when you had these over here. That's why you want to have a combination of both. I was going to pull up some of these ones before I got shut down on Trade Ideas about a half hour ago, or on Think or Swim about a half hour ago. But, here's where you see the difference. Have a combination of both. People are all distracted by these ones over here, and you can kind of come in and scalp your 10, 15, 20 cents over here if you feel safest, or you can go and trade these right away. I just suggest to newbies, that's why when I'm teaching you guys here, again, for those of you that love these quick movers and stuff, come into our trade room, talk with everybody in there. They're all talking about those. I will be talking about these as well. I'm just trying to slow it down because, again, for those that are new, if you're not a great trader, right? If you're not killing it and you're not, a really good trader, these are going to kill you. These are going to blow up your account. You're only going to be able to trade these big movers if you can slowly grind and get your 10, 15, 20 cents, see the patterns, and then go over and trade those. That's why I'm trying to show you guys a combo of both. So over here, again, APRI, not much of a trade. On a 5-minute, right? I'm showing you the 5-minute pattern. This is where, 5-minute setup. When you go to a 1-minute, still, I just don't like it. Maybe down here, but I still don't like it. Let's take a look at LGCY. So LGCY, let's remove the drawings. And we were looking at that one earlier, right above that 695. And you saw that ascending triangle, right? Right over here. These 3 candlesticks. A breakout, looking for an anticipation of a break of $7. And this one it gapped up. It just, we were looking at it over at $7. And then it must have gapped up from there. So at this point, if you got in above 695, if you didn't get out at 724, this was a major warning candle right here, and the close at this candle to get out. So you still would have made potentially 695 up to the bottom of this candle, 619, 25 cents. Guys, 25 cents is a great move on a slower play. Again, higher floating stock, looking at a pattern in anticipation of a break of a whole dollar amount. That's $7. It broke out, went up, gave you time for it to reverse. So if you're just trading the 5-minute, this gave you time that you're not going to get with a pumper, right? And a pump and a dump. You're not going to get that. This will be more like a 1-minute chart, not a 5. So this gave you the setup to make the ability to make 25 cents. HMMR, we were looking at that one earlier, right? This one is just slowly grinding, not getting much volume. Again, if you were looking at this earlier, if you got in at the break above that 143, you would have seen 5, 10, 15 minutes later, nothing, still not doing much of anything. So the worst case on this one, you would have probably just gotten bored or frustrated or aggravated. You maybe would have probably just stopped out over here and taken a penny loss. So here, it didn't get the breakout and the volume that you wanted. It's kind of traded sideways. It's doing nothing. So you would have probably got shook out for a penny or so loss, or broke even. So, okay, big deal. You took a penny loss. That's okay. ACET. This is the one that we were looking at open. This is the one where we were looking at it. We zoomed in. You can see this was a evening star pattern over here. Again, if you don't know what those patterns are or mean, just go over to our website, take our courses, and you'll see all candlestick patterns over here, which explain it. But what we saw is when we zoomed in on the 1 minute, this is where we saw a play right here. What do you guys see here? That is a bull flag. So there was your flagpole up, pull back, and you could have gotten in on the break of this candle right here, this smaller one, using a candlestick close below it as your stop. It went up, and you could have made 10 cents to 410 to 424. You had the ability to make 14 cents. If you didn't take that trade there, then right in here was your warning signs to say, okay, you should probably take profits now. It might be reversing. It may be bull flagging, but it's a bit overextended, maybe reversing. So even if you got over here, you still made 9 cents. You know, it's 9 cents is 9 cents. 9-cent gain is better than a 9-cent loss. And even if you didn't and you waited over here, down even over to here, 413 from 410, you still came out with a 3-cent profit. But look, you had time to make this decision. Why did you have time? Because people are not staring at these in the morning. They're staring up at these, the top gainers. So everybody think about the mob mentality. First of all, the mob mentality is the mob is all going on these pre-market movers in the morning. It's a very simple mentality, right? The top traders in the world are turning on trade ideas in the morning. Remember, these top traders are professionals. They know what they're doing, right? So those professionals also have probably hundreds, if not 1,000 plus people following them in numerous trade rooms around the world. So basically, what does that mean? Everybody, the herd, the mob is following that, what they're doing. So if we woke up this morning and turned on trade ideas, again, this is not Dan loves doing it this way. This is his style. David loves it. Again, it's their style. Nothing wrong with it. People make a ton of money doing it. I'm trying to show you guys and explain this mentality of what happens, right? Those guys know how to trade these parabolic movers. The average person does not, right? Because the average person wants to follow a guru that tells them when to get in and out of trades. The average person does not want to do the work that it takes to become a good trader. And the work that it takes to become a good trader means you have to put in the effort and the study to do that, right? So now the herd and the mob is all over here, right? Meanwhile, every night we're sending you watch list that you can see again here. Look, 90% of our alerts, except for one went off. I'll guarantee you a couple were good, a couple were okay, and the other couple were probably not much of anything, right? That's okay. You're going to go in, you're going to scalp, or let's go back again. Where you're going to scalp, you're trying to get your 10, 15, 20 cent move, and then a couple times a month you might catch a 50 cent or a dollar move with the right setup. That same mentality is going to happen with Trade Ideas or any other scanner as well, because if you think you're going to be able to hold for $1 plus on a move, you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to see, okay, I'm up 30 or 40 or 50 cents. You're going to end up taking your profits, or if you hold too long, it's going to pump and dump on you. So again, the mob and the herd's over here, but remember something. The mob and the herd is not the guru. The guru's not part of the mob and the herd. They're leading the mob and the herd. The mob and the herd is the newbie saying, I want someone to tell me when to get in and out of a trade. And those are the people that, again, don't know what they're doing. Those are the people that, again, are buying at resistance and selling at support. So basically, when all of these pump up, here's where let's go over to one for an example. Let's look at LRGR. Let's see. That's not a good example. Oh, I'm trying to see when that pumped and dumped. Not a good example. Trying to get a good... There we go. Here's a good example. All right. So, here's an example of one FRSX that went up and just completely pumped up within the first 15 minutes and dumped, right? So let's take the mentality of what went on. Here we go. So I'm not sure if people were looking at this pre-market this morning, but let's pretend that you guys were, right? You were looking for this stock to break pre-market high right over here. So now you have the guru. Remember, the guru knows how to bang on a hotkey super quick and get out. This is a big high wave candle. This shows you the battle between the bulls and the bears that first 5 minutes of the day. Tug of war, massive battle, another tug of war over here. So now the guru on a 1 minute, this is a 1 minute chart. Actually, this pumped, I thought this was a 5 minute chart. This thing pumped and dumped in 3 minutes. So now the guru could have got in right over here at 374. And again, pretend I'm the guru, right? So looking at this on Trade Ideas, and let's go back to here we go. I'm going to give you like a replay right here. All right, guys, looking at FRSX, looking for it to break pre-market highs in FRSX. Boom, right? So I call out, I just told you guys I'm in FRSX. Now you give now you count out 1,000, 2 1,000. So now you're going to get a 2-second delay. I'm on YouTube, so you're probably going to get 10 seconds. But a professional guru probably has at least a couple second delay. So pretend I'm a professional guru using a 2-second delay. And I said, in FRSX, 1,000, 2 1,000. By the time that happens, you're within 1 minute candle. I got in a break of 374, and I took my 10 or 15 cent profit. I just bang my hotkeys in and out because I know what I'm doing, right? I'm not saying I do. I know how to use hotkeys, right? I'm just, again, pretending I'm a guru. I'm in and out. So 2 seconds, 1,000, 2 1,000. You guys get that delay and you're like, oh my God, Lucian's in FRSX. I got to go get in really quick. By the time you set up your order and you get in on FRSX, I'm out. I took my 10 or 15 cents. And then by the time you get in, I said, out FRSX. All right, guys, made 10 cents on that. Woohoo. Great job. Just made $500. And you're like, how the heck did he make $500? Because, again, I might have an account of $100,000 and I buy 5,000 shares and I made 10 cents. So 5,000 shares times 10 cents. That's my $500. Woohoo, I'm excited. Meanwhile, you just panicked and you're screwed right here. You're like, I just followed Lucian. He got in, got out. He made 10 cents, and now I'm trapped over here. What the heck do I do? And 3 minutes later, you panic, and what happens? You're buying up here. You're a part of the mob. You are part of the herd. I'm not saying you are, but the newbies are all getting caught up here. The gurus are not buying up here. I'm going to shout and yell at you guys because this is what the gurus are doing. They're buying here. They're selling right out here. All the newbies are getting trapped up here, and you're getting dumped. So the newbies are buying up here right below $4, and now they're down here at $3.54 a few minutes later on a low float stock within the first 4 minutes of the day, losing 50 cents because, again, remember, I'm the guru. FRSX, in FRSX, 1,000, 1,000. You guys, Lucian, he's in FRSX. All right, let me go to my Thinkorswim. Let me get my order set up. Let me put a bid. Let me put in the bid here. Let me adjust it. Okay. All right. 10 seconds later, 15 seconds later. All right, I'm buying at the ask. Boom. 15 seconds later, you're in. You're in at the top of these candles. I then say, out FRSX. You're like 1,000, 2,000. Now you get, okay, oh, Lucian just sold FRSX. I just bought it right up here. Lucian just sold it here. What do I do now? Meanwhile, I'm pumped up. I made $500. I used my $100,000 brokerage account to make 10 cents, make $500. I look like a hero. Meanwhile, you're screwed. And there you go. That's it. This is where the herd is. This is where the herd, this guru. Am I yelling, Dan? I probably am. And good, you know what? Some of you are going to listen to this and get ticked off, and you're not going to like what I'm saying. And you know what? I would say good, because this is the truth. Truth hurts sometimes, and sometimes you're not going to like the truth. And this may tick a lot of you off, but if I'm saving your brokerage accounts by you're listening to what I'm saying here, then that's good, right? Because this is where you're going to be screwed, right here. Meanwhile, the guru just took his $100,000 brokerage account, make 10 cents. He trapped you up here. Look, you're a newbie. You bought here at $3.90. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes later, all the way down right onto here, $3.90 down to $3.55. That's a 35, and it went all the way down to $3.46. So that's anywhere between a 35 to 50 cent move in 3 minutes. Remember, the majority, and look, this is not a lot of volume, 772,000, but I'll guarantee you a ton of people lost. This is what happens every single day in the market, right? Now, again, that's where, and I want to tell you guys again and teach you something as well. So now let's flash forward back here. You're new. Let's pretend I have a $100,000 brokerage account. I got in on this. I made my 10 cents. I got, let's say, 5,000 shares. Or, guys, I could have gotten 10,000 shares. Look, 10,000 shares, 10,000 times $3.97. I would have put in, what, $40,000, made my 10 cents. I made my $1,000 goal for the day, right? So if I'm a guru that has a $1,000 goal for a day, I took my $40,000 brokerage account, or my $100,000 one. I took $40,000. I risked it to make that 10 cents within a minute. I look like a hero, right? I just say, guys, I just made $1,000, guys. I hit my daily goal. Woohoo! Meanwhile, let's pretend you had a $5,000 account, right? And you bought 1,000 shares and you made the same 10 cents as me. Now, I just said, woohoo, I made $1,000. And you said, oh, this sucks. I only made 100. But you made the same trade as me. And you made the same 10 cents. The only reason why I made 1,000 and you made 100 is because my brokerage account was 20 times the size of yours. We made the same successful trade. I just made more because my brokerage account was bigger. So this is what I'm trying to teach you guys. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up in the hype of, hey, someone has a $1,000 goal to make every day, right? If my goal is to make $1,000 a day in the stock market, chances are I have a pretty large or larger brokerage account than the average person. The average person probably has $5,000 or $10,000 to trade, not 100. So don't get caught up in the guru hype, right? So again, people are saying Thinkorswim's still glitchy, so good. I'll keep going on my rant. I hope this is making sense to you guys. All right? So this is the stuff that, again, We're not telling you not to trade these. We're telling you before you can trade these quick, fast pump and dump movers, you have to know patterns. You are never going to be able to trade these until you're able to trade patterns. You're trying to find in these stocks the ones that do a bull flag back and forth, right? Or not. Or let me phrase that. You're looking for ones that are you're looking for these bull flags. You have to be very careful. Just because a stock breaks a pre-market high does not mean you should take the trade. Hence the pattern. This pattern is awful. It is garbage. Can you make money? Yes, you have to be lightning quick. But look, why would you, again, unless you are a professional, know what you're doing, why are you going to trade this? You're risking. You don't even know what your risk is, right? What is your risk on this? Your risk, I mean, what do you risk? You can say, hey, I'll use a close below this as my stop. All right, so here, okay, perfect. Here's another lesson for you guys. So you can say, okay, I'm going to get on FRSX at the break of the pre-market high, and I'm going to use a candlestick close below it as my stop, right? That's what we use, right? We use this kind of, you can almost gauge this. Oh, this is a good example. It's not an ascending triangle, but you can kind of say, okay, maybe this is a, you know, maybe it was a pennant, right? It didn't have much of anything for volume, right? So maybe that's a bull pennant. So you're like, oh, this is a bull pennant. It's breaking out. So boom, I'm going to get on this at the break of pre-market high, and I'm going to use a candlestick close below the pre-market high as my stop. So ding, 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 bell opens. You didn't take the profits here. And your first candle closed below the high of pre-market as your stop. It wasn't this one. It was down here. So meanwhile, you had 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to react for a move up from 374 to 397. You didn't take that 23-cent move in 2 minutes. And then what happens? You get the candlestick close below here, right here. You didn't have time to react. 360 down from 374. So you would have taken a big loss in 3 minutes using that strategy. That's why the pattern on this is terrible. It's risky. It's all risky. You can make good money on a quick pump up, but you have to take your profits and you have to be quick on your hotkeys. And it all brings us down to what I'm trying to show you guys again. Are these patterns? Pattern is terrible here. And let's go look at a few more, see if we can find any decent patterns. This is the stuff that we want to look for. Are these patterns, these bull flag patterns, right? Goes up, pulls back, and then continues up. This chart was a little bit choppy, but we want to see these, getting in on these bull flags, right? We want to see bull flags, ascending triangles. Let's see if I like any of these. Possibly one like this, right? You can see right over here. What do you guys see here? You can see on this 1 minute. What do you see here? Higher lows and a flat top. There's an ascending triangle. You could have gotten in at the break of this, 35 cents, and rode it up to a candlestick close over here, 36 cents. Big deal. I don't like this chart, but this is what I'm trying to show you guys. Ascending triangles and bull flags. ANTH. Do we like this one? Let's see. Possibly over here, but look, you want to see it get above that pre-market high. So you would have been risking, hey, do you get in right over here? Maybe on the top of this hammer over here in anticipation of a break of pre-market high, or do you wait? Get in, let's say about 33 cents, and then you could have taken it up to about 37. Again, 4 or 5 cents. If you're looking at if you're doing the ride the 9 strategy, you still would have made money, right? Again, smaller stock. FRSX, pattern was crap, don't like it. PLM. Again, you're looking for this. What do you see here? You can see right here, ascending triangle, flat top, a break above here. And then, so again, a break above the pre-market or above the ascending triangle. 104, you could have made maybe 11 cents. And if you didn't take the profit, you would have stopped out here. 104 down to 111, you still would have made 7 cents. You guys see what I'm showing you guys? The bull flags and the ascending triangles. IPCI, don't like it. Chart is garbage. CNAT. All right, so CNAT. Again, let's go do this. Pre-market high was right around that 465. So here's one where it breaks above pre-market high right here, kind of forms a cup, kind of has the handle back. And now you can kind of draw it down like this. So cup goes up, pulls a handle, would have faked you out, would have faked out a ton of people right here, right? This would have probably shook you out. So that's where you got to determine, do you get in beforehand? Do you stop out right over here? This would have probably shook you out. Or you could wait for the cup to break out, watch for the pullback, and then you could have saw right here, break above that 1 minute candle around that 470 at that point and rode it all the way up to 504. So that's a 34-cent move right here. Your first candlestick closed below the 9. Dan is teaching you guys this right over here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take our courses and then members only. Dan did an incredible video here on the Ride the 9 strategy in momentum strategies for beginners. Watch this video. There's a whole Ride the 9 strategy of when you buy at support level near these moving average lines on a breakout. If you get a right entry, you can use your first candlestick close below the 9 as your stop. Cup, handle breakout, hammer, candle right here above the 9. Get your entry right over here on that 470, and you could have rode it all the way up to right here. You stop out at right over here. It closes here. Now, you could have taken more profits up here, right? Don't get too greedy. You could take your profits, but if you just want to say, hey, I want to ride that 9, 470 to 504, there's a 34-cent move riding the 9, right? You could also draw your trend lines along the way and be like, okay, it's not the greatest trend line area, so maybe like right in here, you can kind of draw your trend line. At that point, I would have just used the 9 EMA as my trend line. Take a look at a couple more. Don't like this one. It's choppier, but you can see this is where it shows you guys, to show you guys patterns take time to form. You can see at the open, you can see, you know, this, at first it was like right up here was like your trend line, but then it extended out as the market continued to stay open right over here. So now you kind of have your trend lines. I'm going to remove this one, and then you can see, okay, here is a high a day over right around in here. So now what do you guys see? An ascending triangle, right? And it broke above, and it's gotten really choppy. At 1236 up to 1256, it got choppy and hairy up here, but you can see the pattern. Once it breaks above here, you want to see it hold, and what did it do? It got choppy and messy around here, right? Somebody, or Alan, saying fit high a day breakout. Let's see, FIT. Well, fit high a day breakout question mark. Who knows? High days at 750. You see a double bottom here at this point. But now it's got resistance. For it to be a high day breakout, it's got to break above that 750. Again, double bottom, resistance up there at 750. It'll be a high day breakout if it breaks above that. SIFX setting up high day breakout attempt. Let's see. SFIX. Aha. I can see what you're looking at. Patterns, guys, over and over and over and over. I'm going to show you guys and teach you guys this. Here's a possible bull flag forming. Kind of see this forming right now a little bit. Now, got to look and see. So you can see kind of a bull flag potentially forming on the daily. Now you look over on the 5 minute or on the 1 minute chart, you have a clearly defined top. Here is a top. You can see kind of a cup and a handle, but what you can also see is there's kind of a cup and a handle forming within, what do you see here? An ascending triangle. You have a clearly defined top. So now it needs to get above that top. You have to find these patterns, guys. So incredibly important. Now, if you're new, you're probably saying, I don't know, how do I do this? I'm used to following a guru that tells me within seconds when to get out, and I don't know how to day trade. Day trading is hard. Day trading is risky. It's gambling. My friends and family, when I told them I want to be a day trader, they tell me that's gambling. It's like going to the casino. No, it's not. It's only like going to the casino if you're trying to go and put your money into the slots. If you're taking your $100 bill and you put it into the slots, that is gambling, right? That is there's no it's luck, right? So then yeah, day trading is like gambling. But now there are skills that you can learn. Again, I don't advocate. I'm not saying, hey, go learn how to count cards at a casino, right? But there are people on this planet that have learned how to play blackjack and they've learned how to count cards, right? Now, counting cards would be a skill that you can learn. It's still gambling, right? But it's more like educated gambling. It's putting the what? Probabilities in your favor. If you can learn how to count decks and count cards and all that good stuff, now you're taking something that's gambling and you're putting probabilities in your favor, right? So you're not going to always win. There'll be times that you lose on a hand, but the probabilities are in your favor more when you know how to know and count those cards and count that deck. So now when you're going to the casino, you can go with a skill. You've learned, let's say, how to count cards. You're putting the probabilities in your favor. Hence, again, trading in probabilities, and hence something like a day trading, right? You don't know what a stock is going to do, but you can trade in probabilities, right? You can see, okay, this is an ascending triangle. You know, over here, an ascending triangle, looks like it might be bull flagging. There's a probability that that price can break above this ascending triangle, which it is now, right? But again, now you have to see where are resistance levels. It's choppy through here, right? There's some resistance in these levels. You have to be aware. Just because the probability it's going to break out, which it does, now you got to see how far can it go. Well, you have to look at the new patterns that form and trade in those probabilities. Let's look at naked NAKD and see what happens here. NAKD. So this is one that, perfect example. So guys, look at NAKD. I'm sure this is one that was probably looked at the open, right? I'm sure this morning everybody was looking at it. Why? Massive amounts of volume, news, right? So what is, think about it, ding, ding, ding. Guru gets out of bed in the morning, has their coffee, does some meditation, has a nice life set up, right? Wakes up, hey guys, turning on trade ideas a few minutes before the market. Oh, let's pull up the top gappers, the low float stocks that have news, right? Here it is, like clockwork, right? I'm not even saying guru, any of us. Dan likes to do it. David looks to do it. Most of the traders on the planet that love these, what do? They turn on trade ideas. They look at the low float stocks that are gapping up with news, and they have a pattern, right? Naked, I'm sure, was on everybody's radar this morning, just like this happens like clockwork. And what does it do at the open? Completely takes a dump. Completely dumps. So again, these trade ideas movers, they're fantastic, but if you're new, you are not, I mean, look, you're not going to be able to trade this. It's crazy. But what you can do, this is what we're trying to do to slow it down for you guys, is if these are too quick of movers for you guys, here's how you slow it down. Pull up a 5-minute chart. Let the pattern form. You can see price at the open failed to break the high. What is it doing? It's bear flagging on the way down. So you can either take a short on the way down, bear flagging, or look for a price to find a potential base and do a potential dip buy. So let the battle happen. Let the bulls and the bears and everybody in the herd and the mob and all them fight. Let them all fight. Let the herd follow the shepherd, listen to what they're saying, get burned because they don't know patterns. And at the end of the day, you know, you could just let this, if you don't trade it in the beginning, let it form a support level. And then you can come in and potentially do a dip buy. Right here you can see everybody's like, I'm done with naked for the day. It's 11 o'clock. I don't care about it. And meanwhile, you could have just sat back and said, okay, this is forming a support level. You know, here's some resistance near the moving average lines. Maybe I'll do a quick 10-cent scalp, right? So instead of burning your account up from 230 down to 205 and getting risk in these 30-second candles, let the thing form, let it find a base, and then say, okay, if I'm going to risk on a trade like this, maybe I'll dip buy it and try to make 10 or 15 cents off of it, right? You have to see these patterns. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. Again, Dan has a different trading style than me. And that's good. We want you to see both angles of things. Dan likes to get in on these ones really quickly. David does too. I just like the patterns. I like to slow it down, show you guys the patterns, teach you guys how to trade. And there's going to be days where, you know, David might get in a 15-second candle break of, let's say candle breaks pre-market high. He might make 30 cents in 15 seconds. And I might not. I may have grinded to make 10. But there's going to be days that David, let's say, goes in. It's going to go up. And now he might take a 40-cent loss. Whereas for me, it might be very rare to take a 40-cent loss because I'm trading patterns. So I might not make as many 30-cent movers as David. I might get more 10 and 15 and 20-cent movers. He might get more like 30. But his average loss might be 23 cents where mine might be 7. You guys see what I'm saying? Doesn't mean David is a better trader than me or I'm a better trader than David. We can still end out the other end of the day and still make, let's say, our $1,000 a day or whatever the goal is, right? It's just a different trading style. So, all right, guys. So that's that for the day. Hopefully this, again, had to adapt. Hopefully what I taught you guys in between not being able to show you much helped you guys. Again, what is your goal? What is your goal when trading? If you're day trading, swing trading, options trading, what is your goal? Don't tell me your goal is to make money, because I was going to say that's a terrible goal, but that's the goal that everybody's going to say. My goal is to make money. Well, that's the wrong goal. The wrong goal should be able to manage your risk. We all want to make money. That's why you want to trade, of course. But the most important thing is you have to be able to manage your risk. And if your only goal is to make money, that's going to be a problem, because what are you going to do when you have to cut your losses, right? You have to be able to manage your risk, trade without emotions, and that's going to take time and practice, right? So that's that. That's what I got for you guys. All right, over here, again, if you haven't joined us yet, several things I'll show you guys. We have a Facebook group over here. We are over 30,000 people. So we have an entire community. Everything's based upon our community, as you guys can see. We are not stock pumpers. We're not telling you when to get in and out of stocks. What are we doing? If you've been watching all of our replays of basically our trading room videos and our watch list videos, we're just constantly calling out support and resistance to you. And there are some of you people that really love that and it's helpful to you. And then there are some of those newbies that are listening that are like, I don't want that. You might be saying, I don't want to learn that. That's annoying. I just want you to be a guru and call out a trade to me. And that's where I'm going to say to you, you are going to fail. If you will not put in the work that it's going to take to learn how to trade and learn support and resistance, if you want me to be your guru or want Dan to be your guru or David to be your guru and tell you when to get in and when to get out, you're going to make maybe a handful of lucky trades, and then you're going to go and you're going to trade with real money on your own, and you're going to blow up your account. Just like the 90% of traders on this planet that do, you will be a statistic because you did not put in the work that it takes to become a trader. And that work is all about thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours of literally looking at charts, support, and resistance. And that's that. So come and join our group over here if you haven't yet. Great place to learn, ask questions. Oh man, I have to go on the soapbox. I was going to slow it down, but it just, when I start saying this stuff, it just makes me PO'd. Why am I PO'd? Look at this. Bitcoin. Guys, you want to see why I get so angry and why I just pound this in your heads every day? I pound in support and resistance until you're sick of hearing it because of this. This is a Bitcoin chart. These lines have been on my chart for several months, and some of them were added within several weeks. This yellow dot, I did a video on this last night. Why is this yellow random dot right here, right? Why is that, right? There's nothing there. This yellow dot was put there because I did it somewhere around in here because I saw these two yellow dots, which are what? These two yellow dots are double tops. What is this line here? It's the base of a double top. If this fails, now you have what? A top over here, and look, a top over here. I connect those lines and I have what? Now I have a trend line that goes into the future. I have a double top that formed right over here in a descending triangle, and now it's failing. Meanwhile, all of the herd and the newbies are losing their life savings over here. If they didn't lose it over here, right? Many people cashed out their 401ks. I know of people that have cashed out their 401ks and put a majority into Bitcoin. And so here you go, bear flag, all the way down here, right? Now it forms a base. Again, the professionals and the ones that have the million. Do you think the millions and the billionaires were like putting all their money up here and saying, hey, I'm just going to let it ride all the way down? No, they're not stupid. They're not going to do that. They're going to hype it up and scare you and all of that. Meanwhile, they know support and resistance. If you know, if somebody's telling, I've heard this, I can't even tell you how many times I've heard this, of people saying Bitcoin doesn't follow charts. It's not like stocks. It doesn't follow charts. I would say complete and total, I want to say the BS word. That's complete and total BS. Every stock on the planet obeys support and resistance. Traders follow them. This sector, this may be the biggest sector ever. It may go up and who knows, maybe it turns into $1 billion stock. But right now, it's one of the worst possible charts you could possibly find. It's in the middle of a massive descending triangle. So what happens is all these people, all these newbies lose their entire life savings. Then you have the rich people coming back in here, buying it back up. So newbies, as they're crying and losing their entire life savings and destroying marriages because they're listening to people pumping things up, then the millionaires come back up again, right back up, gets all the newbies' hope back up again. So they're going to buy. What do? They buy up in the middle of this right over here. And then meanwhile, where they're buying is where all the millionaires and billionaires or whoever's putting the money in is selling. Meanwhile, you have a double top. It's falling. What did it do? Now you form two levels here. Boom, boom. Connect these two lines, connect this line, and what do you have? A descending triangle. So now when I zoom in over here, this double top came back down, and now you have a double bottom. So now buyers came back in, suckered in all the newbies again, toying with their emotions until it formed another double top, which then failed, hence my dot. Why? Connect these lines, and I say, don't be surprised if price falls back down here in the future. Well, it just came in about a month later, and hence, there you go, right to my yellow line. And where is price now? It's at the base of a descending triangle. This is probably one of the worst charts you could possibly see. It's absolute and total garbage. Will Bitcoin be great in the future? I don't know. Maybe it will, but if it's going to be great in the future, it's got massive hurdles to overcome. And at this point, it's at the base of a descending triangle. If this 5970 level breaks, I don't know. It could go to zero, or buyers may come in and put it back up to 50,000. Who the heck knows? But what I would do is look at the charts, right? I wouldn't go on anybody else's speculation or hype. I would look at the charts. So hence my intent, by why I'm so adamant and I beat you guys over the head every single day is because of this. Everything obeys support and resistance. Which brings me to, again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, take our courses. If you take our courses, if you learn support and resistance, you're never going to ask again, what's the market going to do tomorrow? What's it going to do next week or next year? What you would do is you would go to the charts and you would say, okay, what's the market doing? What is support and resistance? Where are the patterns? Right now, the market is up against some resistance. Do we know what it's going to do? No. But we look at resistance levels and support levels and watch what price is doing. And depending on our trading style, we either look at a daily, a weekly chart, a monthly if you're more long term, and look at support and resistance. All right, guys, I just went on my tangent as I always do. We are subscribed right here. We are only $10 per month. If you look here under our conditions when you sign up, you will see that this 2-hour long video that I did again this morning is not included in our $10 a month. It's not included in our $99. So basically, there's nothing included on what we charge you guys saying that we're giving live screen sharing for $10 a month included. It's not on here because it's not part of our terms and conditions, right? So meaning we're giving you probably one of the most valuable things that you can get. Other trade rooms and companies for that do live screen share, they're charging $150, $200 a month. Some are a little bit less than that, but then they don't offer the other stuff that we offer, right? So at minimum $50 a month, up to $200 a month for screen share. And meanwhile, we're giving it to you for free at $10 a month. We cannot give you any more than we're giving you guys. So hopefully for those of you guys that are listening, we know many of you guys pay attention. We get lots of great feedback and we're super thankful. For those of you that are new, pay close attention because you're not going to get the value that we're giving you every day here, really anywhere else, and especially not for $10 a month. So that's that. I'm going to go enjoy the day outside, get some lunch, and you guys have a wonderful day. Day, not doy. I'll catch you guys later.